Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I am your host, Ayanna Smith. And tonight, this evening, we're going to continue to talk about that love insurance, leaving a legacy, building for the future, mortgage protection, and any questions you may have. Make sure that you answer them and put them in the chat, and we'll be right back. Well, we are back. Hello, hello, hello. You have encountered. Thanks for joining Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I am your host, Ayanna Smith. I am your trusted financial professional, and I help people make and save money in a tax-free manner, and also drill down with that 35-year-old to 65-year-old professional woman and her significant other and husband to make sure that everybody is getting what they need, getting what she needs, understanding her money, understanding how to make that money work. We make the money, but we want to know how to amplify and grow and explode the money. So let's explode the money. Let's all talk about that this evening, as well as making sure that we have those life insurance pieces in effect, in order, and covered. So with that, our broadcast begins with talking about, of course, we're in the month of February, and we often talk about that, the time of the Valentine and making sure that we are showing love. We should be showing love every day, I believe. It's one day that people kind of amplified and gone over to the top, but it's something that we should go over to the top with every single day. And with that, I like to look at the situation, or not necessarily the situation, the topic, let's say the topic of life insurance and how that works and how that becomes love insurance, because it becomes the protector and the surrounder for things that we need if we get too sick, live too long, die too soon. It all works together. And so we want to talk about a little bit, making sure that, of course, that we look at how many people are really focusing and doing what they need to do when it comes to taking care of themselves, number one, and their families. So it's about protecting and saving and taking care of everyone. All right, so this is what we're going to jump into. We're going to get a few notes. We said we want to talk about the love insurance. Of course, every time I'm going to share with you about having proper protection in the focal point of life insurance. It is all about making sure that life insurance is not just for when we pass away, because we do need to have that in place, but there are different types of life insurance that we need. We have types of life insurance that are term, meaning they last for a short amount of time or a set amount of time. Let me say that. Then we have with the term, it's going to be 10, 15, 20, 25 years. We want to make sure, or 30 years in length, and make sure that you have that coverage there. Then you want to look at, of course, our whole life, our universal life. All those types of insurance are permanent, meaning that once a person qualifies for them, because oftentimes you have to qualify health wise, and then there are some so great now. There are many companies that will qualify you without any medical, and that means that more people can get the protection they need. So I need you really to reach out to me so we can really talk about that and get things in order. We also have insurances that families can build money for children to go to college. They can build money if they want to plan for their retirement, their retirement, because we're looking at now in most people's age group, the main workers, the Generation X, the Gen Zs, the millennials, all those people, we're working, but what are we working to and for? And now it is really time, like people say, secure the bag, secure everything that we need by putting money in places that we can put it in, whether it is something that is short term, something that is long term. We need to know how to maneuver and put monies away in different pots so that we can amplify and grow. And I really love to have some people, when we're talking about money talks, think about, looking at soliciting uh, guests, because we have people that are really doing some big things, and they're talking about different facets of how money is growing, how they have grown their money. And then in turn, we can look at a collaboration meeting of the minds on how we can even make things grow in all of those types of pots, because it's not just a one trick pony. It's about putting your monies in places where you can get things right now and reserve for later. So that's how we have to look at that thing, on making sure that it is, I like to say, like you have a balanced meal. My mom, quick story, my mom always said, listen, you need to have, your meat. That's if you eat your meat, so eat meat and have your vegetables, but have a starch, which is like a potato or rice or what have you, and then something green. So you have your, collards, cabbages, and different things of that nature, broccoli, whatever. But she always said you need to have a balanced meal. And that was how she taught me to eat. I'm so thankful for that, because then I know that I didn't just load up on all starch, all my rice, and just load up on that heavy. I was able to eat the squash, the zucchini, and all of those different things that I eat, and carrots and everything, that put it all together and have a balanced meal. And that is my approach, even in helping people to get to their money goals. We have to look at protecting ourselves. And my specialty is helping you to protect yourself and getting your coverages and proper protection through the vehicle of life insurance. However, I do have, and that's why I said I wanted to start getting guests on expanded money talks with Ayanna Smith, so that we can really bring in people who know more about looking at the real estate side of things and their thoughts on that, and looking at the credit side of things and their thoughts on that, and looking at some of the different currencies and things that are out here now, and people's thoughts on that, because people are making money in many avenues, in many ways. However, it's all oftentimes, sometimes we make a lot of money, but then we spend a lot of money, or we don't know how to save it or really make it grow again, or we need to balance it out. We're having something, like I said, something that is going to give you long-term growth, and then some immediate growth, along with having some right on hands money growth by putting it in the bank and having your hands right on the money, so that you can easily extract it, take it out, and do what you need to do with it. And of course, we want to take it all the way back to people having money in the mattress and the coffee cans and on the floorboards, But that was what I know some of my older family members, that's how they maneuvered, because they didn't have all these things. They weren't taught these things. So they didn't know where to put their money. They didn't know about the stock market. They didn't know at that time, basically, it wasn't those things in place. But the thing about life insurance, it has been in place for years. And it is one industry that has not failed and never will fail because it's too strong in strength. It's too connected and solidified by heavy money connections. So it's not going anywhere. So it is a great tool to grow money. It is a way to build it, a way to grow it, and a way to make sure that it's sustainable while covering you, which is my second point, covering you not only when people pass away, but covering you with living benefits / long-term care. So living benefits will help you with the critical, chronic, and terminal illnesses. People are getting sick every day. People we know, we're in the time of a pandemic. So we know without a doubt, it is a given that people are getting sick, have been sick, and have passed on, unfortunately, from this deadly virus and other pre-existing conditions or what have you. But here is the thing. We don't have to die in agony and defeat and not then have the funds that we need to make sure that maybe our rehabilitation will not be in vain. So your things like your living benefits are going to give you that latitude where if you have heart attack, cancer, stroke, then these benefits will accelerate, or you'll be able to extract them or take them from or subtract them from. Let me break it really, break it simply. Subtract it from your face amount, and that will be money that will come into your pocket to help you as you're recovering. Now you tell me, and let me get some feedback. Things move a little bit better when money is not a problem, right? Okay, that was rhetorical because we know that money makes things better. Money makes things better. It says, it answers all things. So yeah, it will help in the time of sickness and distress and the high bills and rehabilitation. It will help the person who can benefit from it if they have these things in place. And then with your long-term care, we know that people have some point in time where they may have to stay in a facility that they have to get care because they cannot go home or cannot live alone or be by themselves at a certain time. So this allows acceleration of the death benefit as well on your policy to help pay for those things, because we find ourselves in a fix sometimes because families may have not prepared. We may not have prepared and talked about things, and we don't have wills and medical directives to direct us on how we are to handle ourselves if we get sick, and we don't have those things. And then to top it off, when we don't have the money, it really makes our care look a lot different. The care is much, much, much different when we don't have the funding to support it. Meaning, when the social worker comes and sits down, or the person who is the billing agent at a particular facility or hospital, when they say, how are you all going to pay for this? They're not saying we're going to put it on $1 a day plan or $1 a month plan or a layaway plan. It is, how are you going to pay these bills like right now? And so in that situation, it forces the family to mostly look at, where are we going to get this money, and where is it coming from, and how are we going to foot this bill after we occur it? Because sometimes families have to put people in, it's an emergency situation. And so therefore the care is given because medical professionals are charged up to a certain point to make sure that they save lives. That's what they take, the Hippocratic oath. They take that, the doctors take that, so that they say they will try to save lives at all costs, unless there's something in your records that say, no, don't resuscitate, or don't do this, don't do that, no blood transfusions, things of that nature. If those things are written, then they have to follow it. However, if you don't have anything written down and there aren't any directives, then the goal is to save you and do all that it takes. And therefore, a huge bill is immediately it's immediately like built up to the point where, okay, when you're left and back to health, then the next crisis comes. How am I going to pay for it? So if you have something in place where you're able to take care of it because you had a plan in place, because you planned ahead of time, then that gives you the ability to extract from that particular pot of money and make sure that you're not struggling and suffering and feeling all over the place about how to take care of that bill. So with that, that's your long-term care: heart attack, cancer, stroke. Can't can't eat, feed. Let me see. Can't feed, can't eat. Can't feed yourself. Can't toilet, transfer, move yourself around. Those types of things fall under those umbrellas. And so we can talk more about that so that you can get a more specific understanding, because everybody's situation is different. It's not a one size fits all. It's a one size fits you. And so the next thing we'll look at this evening, this morning, this afternoon, tonight, we want to talk about, of course, the final expense. And of course, we said the final expense portion or policies or things of that nature is needed when people pass away. So some people they say, I just want to get enough to put me away. Well, I really help people specialize in that, as far as if it's an elder, somebody that pretty much older American, and they're saying, well, I don't have a lot, or I need, to make sure I have something to take care of my mom, or put folk away and all that, we can help you with that. Help you with that, to navigate through that, even if you have some health conditions. Because as I said, now there are some guaranteed some companies that will guarantee that you can get coverage, so that there will be a peace of mind, and you're not sitting out there wondering, how am I going to leave that burden on somebody else? Or I'm sick now and I know that maybe I can't get a certain particular company that I was previously looking at, but you can look forward to getting something. And that is the blessing and the big deal of what I'm able to do, and work with people that can help us to navigate through that and get people covered and what they need, even with some of the most severe illnesses. So it's specific. We don't have to share it right here, but connect with me, okay? And then we look at mortgage protection. Anyone knows people that have homes? Of course we do. We have properties. We have to protect that. So there's a way to protect that, as well as making sure that even some companies will allow you to do the mortgage protection, but then make sure that at the end, if you outlive that term of that time frame, we talked about the term insurance, you may be able to get your money back, half of it or all of it. It just depends on how we work that out. So let's make sure that we converse about that, because it is a travesty. Even when we hook this in, you may say, well, what does mortgage protection have to do with anything? It has a lot to do with a lot of things when you are looking at the benefits of your either family A. The breadwinner had protection, and it took care of the mortgage and took care of paying that off, and the family was able to then stay in the home that they had built, or that they had moved to, and wanted the family to have property. Or family B, no protection was left, no protection was gained or gotten by the particular breadwinner or person of the home, mom or dad. And then the family was left in disarray, trying to figure it out, and now having to move and be displaced, maybe have to live with family members, and the home as they knew it is no longer. So that's a big deal on making sure that that's something that's in place. So we need to talk more about that. Let's connect for a complimentary appointment. And then agency building, as we come in for the descent. Agency building, looking at expanding your income, building a legacy, making more funds, making more money. It is now time to really look at that. There's so many different opportunities, of course, but I said earlier in the broadcast that the insurance agency, the insurance industry, let me say that the insurance industry is solid, and it is not going anywhere anytime soon. It is supported, fully funded, connected, and it's it's not going anywhere. And so it is a lucrative and a very, very, I would say, wonderful way to build and to grow your legacy, and to have money and have things to invest and put monies away for family and friends and your children, and ultimately yourself, and keeping bills and things going, because we know that the economy is doing its own thing. That's why we have to do our own thing by doing the right thing and getting our ducks in a row, and making sure that the ducks stay in a row, by making sure that we are working to get funds and money in a career that is a solid career. Everything has its highs and lows, its ups and downs, but the consistency of the financial industry is what I leave with you this evening. So if you have any questions and you want to talk about how, and I invite you, let's look at the industry, because it is growing. We are constantly growing, expanding, and putting this industry to the test that it would deliver. If we put our money where our mouth is and get out there and do what we need to do, meaning money where our mouth is, tell people about what we're doing. So that's what we're doing, telling people about what we're doing. I'm telling people about what I'm doing. And then to close this out, we can talk about being protected, talk about possibly building, expanding your career and gaining more money, cash flow for your family. But as we close out with that, this then propels me to say this: we have to do what we need to do so we can do what we need to do. And I always like to leave with this phrase. I say, we talk about our money, we talk about different things that we want to do, but we have to have a game plan to take care of it and to execute it and to plan and move forward in it. And we have to have the funds to do that. And we don't want to stress ourselves out. So therefore, we have to put in the work, put in the grind, and the fortitude to stick in there and to stay in there and help things to elevate in our personal lives. Then we can reach out and help others. So we're going to what we say, airplane people always say, those who've flown, put the mask on yourself first and then on others. You help your neighbor. And if you have helped yourself, then of course you will automatically be able to help your neighbor. So with that being said, I want to leave you with this. Make sure that you reach out to me. Make sure that you reach out, connect by through Ask Ayanna _Financial Pro on Instagram, and on Facebook, ask for Ayanna. And also, I am really, really reaching out, asking you to subscribe. Everybody subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure that you want to hear more of these great videos and things that we're talking about, building up. Make sure that you reach out and subscribe, share it, like and comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And of course, we are on that journey with Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. I am Ayanna Smith, and I help people make and save money in a tax-free manner. I am a financial professional. Let's say this: I am your trusted financial professional. And we want to make sure that everybody has what they need in the effects of life insurance, proper protection with mortgage coverage, savings, living benefits, long-term care, and all that. And learning how to build a legacy and leave people with greatness and not with sadness. Let's say it in that succinct way. So remember, as we close, money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. And make sure that you are flowing free with your mind to say, you know what, I may need to schedule a meeting with Ayanna so we can talk. Absolutely. We're here to do that for you. And we're here to take your appointments and have a conversation. So let's have that conversation so we can seriously grow and grow together. All right. This is Ayanna Smith. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining.